Hey, Pathways program. I'm Mrs. Hubbard, if you don't know me. And I'm going to show you a little bit about this machine. This is the machine that I'm going to loan you from the Family Consumer Sciences room down at the middle school. It's a Brother LS2125i. We call it the light blue Brother in my classroom. So if you were in my classroom, this is the light blue Brother. You may or may not have used it. It's a front load entry, which means that the bobbin area is on the front of the machine. Some machines have their bobbin areas on the top. This is a front load. Very basic controls. Has one knob to control stitch length. And then I'm going to talk to you a bit about threading the machine and so forth. You may or may not have a packet that looks something like this. And on the second and third page of the packet is some information about this sewing machine. So I'm going to go through this packet and talk about the parts and pieces. If you don't have the packet, that's okay. I'm still going to talk about the parts and the pieces of the machine. First of all, this is the bobbin area. Sewing machine uses 2 threads to operate. It uses a big spool of thread that lives up here on the spool pin, and it uses a small bobbin thread which lives down here in the bobbin case. These bobbin cases are metal. You use this tab, pull it out, and then the bobbin is right in there. It's a plastic bobbin on these machines. If you were in my class before, we use metal bobbins on this machine, but it turns out it can be used with plastic as well. So I just use the plastic ones because I have more of them. The bobbin goes into the bobbin case and spins clockwise. And then right on the side of this, it's rather difficult to see, but there's a little crack here, and it's going to go up the crack, under this metal, and out this hole. So up the crack, under the metal, and out the hole. You always want to keep your finger lightly on here so that the bobbin doesn't fall out. But if you hold it too tight, the thread will break. This has this little arm, goes straight up to the air like Hermione Granger, or the most irritating A student that you can think of. And that arm is always in the air with the correct answer. And that arm's going to click right into the open space in this bobbin area. Click. And now the bobbin is in. I'm going to leave that there for a little while. I'm going to talk about this area here. We've got a needle. We've got the presser foot. The presser foot has this little ankle to it and sort of 2 little toes. There's some little teeth under here. Those are called feed dogs. They're the conveyor belt of the sewing machine. They move the fabric from the front of the machine to the back of the machine. This metal area here, this is called the throat plate. Let me get up here so you can see it better. This is the throat plate, and these lines on the throat plate, those are called seam guides. That's what allows you to sew a straight line when you are sewing. Here is our presser foot again, so you can see it up close, and the feed dogs are these little teeth. Right here, there is a little handle. It puts the presser foot down and up. You don't want to hear it. That is not good. You want to move it slowly with your hand, like that, down and up, down and up. I'm going to set this back down so that it's not so wobbly. There we go. So, presser foot lifter bar moves the presser foot up and down. When we move the hand wheel, which is over here, you always want to grab the hand wheel with your right hand, thumb on top, and it comes towards you. If you rotate the hand wheel the other direction, you can tangle the thread inside the machine, and then that is something that has to go to the repair shop. These machines, to go to the repair shop is very expensive, so please, please, please do take care of them. Thumb on the top, always towards you. When the hand wheel moves, you will notice that the needle is moving up and down. The bobbin area is also moving, which is hard to see from that far away. The feed dogs are also moving, and then there's actually a little object in here called the thread take-up lever that is also moving. The thread take-up lever pulls the thread from the spool pin over here towards the needle area, and it allows the tension to shift on the thread while the needle is doing the sewing. This is the tension ditch and the tension control. Inside of this are 2 little discs that look like this. The thread moves through the discs and they hold the thread very tight or very loose. You always want to have the presser foot up when you thread the machine because the tension ditch gets turned on when it's down, so those 2 discs go tight. And we want to have this up so we can put the thread through there and then put it down to sew. This knob here controls your tension. For most of the sewing you're going to be doing, you want it at a 5. If you're making a wedding dress or something really thick, then this stuff would change. So depending on what fabric you're using, you can research and change your tension as needed. This knob here controls our stitches, and there's pictures here that show us what stitches are happening. One is the buttonhole, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are different patterns that you can use. And you simply move this knob around to set up that pattern. Number 6 is actually all straight stitches, and there's 5 straight stitches within number 6 that you can use. This here is the reverse stitch. When you sew, the thread doesn't knot, it simply loops, and you have to sew backwards at the beginning and at the end to make sure that the thread is knotting and won't come undone. Going up to the top of the machine, we've got a variety of things happening up here at the top of the machine. This is your spool pin where your spool of thread lives. This is the bobbin winder where you would create a bobbin. This is a thread guide. You come around the back here, according to this picture, when you're threading the machine. You come to the back and around again. Excuse me, I said that backwards. From the front and around again to do the bobbin winding, and that's the picture for that. And that is your sewing machine that you get to use. So I'm going to do another video on how to thread this sewing machine, and that's it. Thanks for listening.